Padlocks. Pad Thai. Regular pads. Are they the same thing? We might find out, and I don't know about that, with Jim Jefferies, the Forest Shore, and Kelly Zabinski.
What are regular pads?
Like a pad you ride on.
There's also menstrual pads.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
Paddington Bear.
There's a lot of pads. I think what we found out is the word pad gets overused because, welcome back to my pad.
Yeah.
Here's my menstrual pad. Here's a padlock, although that does lock up your pad. Not really. It locks up it locks up your bike.
Yeah.
Dog sleeps on a pad.
Yeah. Sure.
Pad-dio.
Landing pad.
And a launching pad.
It's flat things, right? Just flat things.
Yeah.
Pads.
Padlock's not really
Jeez,
flat.
it might be a good subject, pads.
Write it down, Jack.
All right, I'll tell you how many weeks gone. I got a positive COVID test.
Oh, shit.
What?
Yeah, I did. I got a positive COVID test. And then I got a negative one. An hour later. Then I got another negative one. Then I got another negative one. Then I want 4 negatives and a positive. I kept on going back just to make sure.
But you got better tests as you went along, too.
I got a better test. Then I dropped back down to 2 shittier tests because I just wanted to be safe and sure.
When you called me and told me that you did positive, I said, well, maybe you got a false positive, but I
had no symptoms.
I wasn't confident in you guys. I just was saying it as in a hopeful way, like maybe you got because it is possible.
Yeah.
And thank goodness that's what it was.
I had a friend who got a false positive HIV, and he said that was a hell of a week.
Jeez.
Yeah.
He went around ringing people.
Oh,
man.
Oh, God.
I feel like I would procrastinate for a little bit more than a week.
And then there was a false positive. So it's a toughie, the old the HIV.
The old FP.
Yeah, I got a false positive for some of an airline disease. I want to say it was like syphilis or something. And I rang up a girl that I was with at the time, and then the doctor, hey, it's not that. But they had given me the injection. They had given me it was gonorrhea. They had given me the injection in your ass, which hurts, and all the pill and all that stuff. And they're like, we made a mistake. And I was like, well, that would have been good information before I called up this girl.
I had
the
same thing. I'd been with my wife. I hadn't cheated. I hadn't done anything. And I had that inflamed testicle. Remember that testicle that swelled up when we were on the Jim Jefferies show? I had to cancel Conan because I said to him, I can be, if you start me on the couch, I can be a guest, but I can't walk out. Because I was walking with a cane. I was like, with my big swelled up testicle. Something happened. Something went down the thing, but I didn't have any STD. But they gave me the injection for gonorrhea and all that type of stuff. And it turned out I didn't have anything. But, so there you go. Stressful. Stressful.
You don't have it.
So I don't have the COVID, everyone. I know you're all sitting at home thinking to yourself, he wouldn't live through that. And that's how I feel as well. But I don't have it. But you start doing that thing when you think you have it, when you go, I reckon it was this fucker who gave it to me or that person or whatever. I was blaming Jack.
I haven't even seen him for like 2 weeks.
I know, but we talked on the phone.
Gets to the lines.
All right. So I don't have COVID, but I almost had COVID and everything's fine. I've been tested several times since. And I get tested every few days, actually, because I just have my reasons. I'm a hypochondriac.
He just likes the test.
I'm enjoying the test. Since I've given up cocaine, I haven't,
had something of your nose.
Just things being shoved up my nose.
That nasal fixation.
Yeah. I'm just like, I enjoy this. I can see the appeal of this.
Whoa, let's go. Let's go streaking. What do you got, Jack?
Well, remember the little song you made up, Stillborn Shark? And you requested people to make a song?
I want to not take credit for it. I just changed one word in the song. It was already a song by some Korean pop band or something. Yeah. I just put the word stillborn into it. Anyway.
Well, someone made it.
Okay.
Well, just to be fair, we're not going to play every song that everyone makes for the show, but you did say
he samples it in the song.
Yeah.
Like the verbal contract is in the intro. This is created by Tasty Moss, and the 2 S's are $signs.
All right. Someone can make an actual recording of Stillborn Shark and fill in all the blanks in the lyrics and send it to us.
We'll split it 50-50.
It will be played on the
episode. Kelly's giving away money.
Stillborn Shark episode.
Technically, I'm taking money.
Stillborn Shark episode.
They're eating.
Stillborn Shark.
Stillborn Shark.
They're eating.
Stillborn Shark.
Stillborn Shark.
They're eating.
Stillborn Shark.
Stillborn Shark.
They're eating.
Oh, I thought Forrest was saying they're eating.
I did too the first time.
Stillborn Shark.
They're eating.
Stillborn shark.
Challenge accepted. Mr. Jefferies, a tip of the hat to Jack, Forrest, and Kelly. I don't wear a hat, that's just an expression. Guess what gives me a rock hard erection? Baby sharks that never learn how to swim. The tiny ones with the pretty little fins. They taste great when they're fresh from the womb. Flesh so soft you can cut it with a spoon. I prefer that their mothers never see them. Out of sight, out of mind. That's some guilt-free eating. Their little dead noses don't smell shit bleeding. Hope you have an appetite. It's stillborn shark season.
Stillborn shark.
They're eating.
Stillborn shark.
They're eating.
Stillborn shark.
They're eating. All right.
Stillborn shark.
I thought, what's Forrest saying they're eating over the top of the song? And I kept on turning to him and he wasn't moving his lips. And I was like, bloody hell, he's a talented fella.
All right. What's your segment today, Jack?
Now I know about that. Maybe.
All right.
We still don't have a song for that, people.
I thought we did.
Right.
I never got one.
No, it's not a 3-song episode.
It's not a 3-song episode.
Too many songs.
This is on the topic of James Bond, which was episode 19 with our expert Stephen J. Rubin.
Ding, 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 ding.
First question. Where did the name James Bond come from?
It was from a book of bird watching from the home called Goldeneye, which was in Jamaica, which is where the writer lived. Yeah.
Do you know what Goldeneye is?
Goldeneye is the name of his house in Jamaica.
But it goes further. Goldeneye is a type of duck.
Okay.
You would have just given it to him. He gave you so much information. I was like, wow, good job.
Well, he answered my second question as well, so I had to follow up.
How many questions do you have?
5.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So nice. You
we
knocked
played a
out.
song, so that's quick. You get through it
Yeah.
quicker, yeah.
What gave James Bond books a boost in popularity?
It was read by JFK. He said that was on his reading list, and I think it was Dr. No.
It was From Russia with Love.
Russia with Love, and JFK was reading it.
And it was number 9 on the list for specifics, but very good.
He's going to know all these.
Yeah.
You got to pick a topic he doesn't know. It's funnier.
Ask me why JFK didn't finish the book.
You got bored.
Too soon.
One of the biggest tragedies.
Why couldn't the producers use the book The Spy Who Loved Me as the basis for the film?
Because Ian Fleming writes the N-word in it several times.
Very good.
Is that what happened?
No.
Like something.
It's been Mark Twain.
Why would he be saying it so much? It's From Russia with Love. Like he really wanted to get that out.
James Bond floating down the Mississippi River.
He picked up some verbiage that we don't approve
That
of.
was a reference to Huckleberry Finn has been
Yeah.
changed. I wasn't just wanting to. Anyway.
The book originally was just about a woman getting attacked by quote unquote hoodlums on the east coast of the US. And it isn't until the last 2 chapters when James Bond just comes in and saves the day.
Oh, right.
So it was just like a nice twist. What film? What?
No, it's funny.
Yeah. Someone just got stuck.
And the movie goes like this, and all these cops came through the window, and one of them was James Bond. The end.
He had retired and become a parking. All right.
What film did the producers think was so bad they almost shelved it?
Oh, it was so bad they almost shelved it.
Hustlers.
I'm going to say...
They thought it was very bad at the time.
I'm going to say License to Kill.
It was Goldfinger.
Goldfingering, that's the best one.
The reason was James Bond gets knocked out for 30 minutes in the movie, and they thought, oh, we can't have our hero be knocked out for 30 minutes. We might have to scrap this movie.
That's when the Goldfingering happened.
But apparently they went back in and edited and cut it up and made it better and improved it. Now it's one of the best ones around.
I agree with that. What would have happened for 30 minutes without James Bond?
I don't know.
Just planning, like, all right, and then you get the sharks, and the lasers.
The hot chicks started making out with each other.
Oh, yeah, James Bond.
And this is a bonus question. Who was J.W. Pepper?
J.W. Pepper?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember that.
He made a soft drink.
J.W. Pepper was the Louisiana sheriff in Live and Let Die who keeps chasing James Bond. He was like the sheriff out of the Dukes of Hazzard. He's like, I'm going to get this guy.
Oh, what do you think he was Roscoe Pico train?
Kind of.
Jack was really into this
Yeah.
when we did
I
the
remember-
episode. So
I
he's
remember.
like, bonus question.
Bonus question.
Something I like.
What was the thing that I contributed?
J.W. Pepper.
J.W. Pepper. Oh, God. Bring that up when you talk to a girl next to the party.
Okay.
Yeah, go, we do a podcast about different subjects. You might enjoy it. You ever heard of J.W. Pepper?
He actually has a pretty good role
Yeah.
in 2 James Bond
Yeah,
movies.
he was in the first Timothy Dalton one.
She's just taking off her pants as she
Oh,
as he's saying
Roger
this.
Moore.
Which one was it?
Roger Moore. Live and Let Die.
Oh,
Man with
Live and Let
Golden Gun.
Die, Live and Let Die. I thought you were thinking Living Daylights. Yeah.
What actor played him?
I don't know.
Great.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could ask that. Oh, no.
All right.
God, people at home are excited for the ads. And here they are. Would you Adam and Eve it? Would you Adam and Eve it? Leave it. Leave it. He's not worth it. Free stuff is the best, but free stuff will ignite your Valentine's Day. Even better, check this out. When you go to adamandeve.com and select almost any one item, you get 50%. Oh, no, it's got to be 5%.
No, it's 50%.
Fuck me. 50% off? Ah, that's amazing by itself. But here's where they load on the free stuff. When you enter my exclusive code, it's IDK at checkout. You put in IDK. Not only do you get 50% off your item, you'll also receive 10 tantalizing free items. First, for your viewing pleasure, 6 movies. 6 movies. That's all the police academies.
And the Airbuds.
Actually, I think there were 7 police academies.
Maybe it's Airbud then.
Next, a free mystery pack that includes any item for him, a special toy for her, and something we know you'll both enjoy. So that's a vibrator, some blowjob machine for him, and a prenup. Plus, free shipping. Now that's a lot of free Valentine's Day stuff. Free Valentine's Day. So head over to adamandeve.com and be sure to use the offer code IDK. Again, that's IDK, because without it, there'll be no Valentine's Day stuff. You'll come downstairs thinking the Valentine's Day fairy's there. You'll check your stocking and there'll be no dildos, nothing. You'll look like a fool. That's IDK at adamandeve.com. Green Chef.
And we're done.
After you're finished with the Valentine's Day and you've done all that fucking, you're going to get yourself hungry. All right? Green Chef is the first USDA certified organic meal kit company. Enjoy clean ingredients that you can trust. Seasonally sourced for peak freshness. Ingredients, look at this is what happens with them. They come pre-measured. There's no like, have a half a cup of this, a little spoon of that or whatever. It's just like pour that stuff in. Pour that in.
Which is good. I haven't unpacked any of my measuring stuff
Yeah,
yet.
perfectly portioned. Portions that you're meant to eat. Not not the portions I've been eating.
You keep all of your measuring stuff in the same box, like rulers?
No,
tape measures?
I like cooking measuring. When have I ever cooked with a ruler?
Yeah, she's got like a measuring cup
That's what she said. She goes,
and a human weight scale.
I haven't unpacked all my measuring stuff.
That's how she makes her footlong sandwiches. She needs that ruler.
Green Chef makes eating well easy and affordable with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, or just looking to be healthier. There's a range of recipes to suit any diet or preference. Green Chef is the first ever. Okay, if you're in your car, pull over. You're already seated, but you're not the right type of seated. You could cause it because listen, everyone, come into the speaker. Come into the speaker. This is your first ever keto meal kit on the market. Now, what's that noise? Is that noises of brains exploding? It makes sticking to a low-carb lifestyle easy with recipes averaging only 14 net carbs each. Have you what do you make of the green stuff? Do you do the Green Chef?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you into?
From Green Chef, Jamaican fried rice. I go to the balanced living section because I'm balanced.
Ah, do you ever make that joke to yourself where your girlfriend comes up to you and goes, "You're making fried rice"?
No.
Okay.
I did
good?
that.
What is Jamaican fried rice? What makes it Jamaican?
It's like it was a little bit
Some,
spicier.
like jerk chicken in there or something?
Now you're asking too many questions. I don't remember. But there was another thing. It was like penne and meatballs or something like that. With like this cream sauce I really liked. So it's really good. And if you don't want to think about cooking, you don't have to think about it. That's the thing. So
and it keeps you slim and it keeps you happy.
And I don't have all my measuring stuff out of my box yet.
Yeah. Go to
Don't have the ruler out.
Go to greenchef.com/90. I don't know. And use the code 90. I don't know. Why would we put 90 before? Surely they're not going to make you save $90. Oh my God. You get $90, include the shipping won't be free shipping. Go to greenchef.com/90. 90. You're making money, people. Greenchef.com/90. I don't know. You got to write the full words. It's not a 90. I don't know. And use the promo code 90. I don't know to get $90 off, including free shipping. That's Green Chef. It's number one. The number one meal kit for eating well.
All right, please welcome our guest today, Ricky Williams.
Hello, Ricky.
Hey, what's up?
G'day, mate. I know who Ricky is, but let's do the theme song, Jack.
Yes, no. Yes, no. Yes, no. Yes, no. Judging a book by its cover.
All right. Well, I've already seen a documentary on Ricky, so I already know everything you need to know about him.
Okay, well, but he's not here to talk about. Well,
he's not here to talk about the NFL.
There's a few things. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how well you remember the documentary.
The other one. I'm not trying to be rude here, but weed.
Why would that be rude?
I knew that was coming.
I'm high right now. There's nothing rude about that.
I was high yesterday. I spent a Sunday where I just I was high from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep.
That's
so
pretty
an
much
hour and a
every
half.
day for me.
I will say that, Ricky, I think you do consider yourself a medical cannabis advocate, but he's not here to talk about that necessarily.
Okay. So
it might come up, but I'm not saying.
Okay, so Ricky was in the NFL. He enjoys weed.
You can ask him questions. It's right there.
No, I'm about it. Okay, so does your expertise involve the human body?
Not directly. No.
Okay. Does your expertise involve something slightly supernatural then, like that the mind goes to?
Yes.
All right, here we go. All right.
That was a great question.
If it's not directly, that's what that
Okay.
means, right?
Yeah.
So it's not dreams. We've already done an episode on dreams. That would be some lazy ass booking. Dreams too. We're doing dreams again. So I would say, is your expertise the subconscious?
No.
No. Okay. Is it something that we all have, or okay? No, I'll rephrase that. Is it something that you have to learn to do, or do we all do it naturally?
Ooh. You have. There's some learning involved.
There's some learning about. Is it? This is going to sound stupid. Is it tarot cards?
Wow.
It's
pretty darn.
No,
pretty.
It's not. But you're in the ballpark.
pretty darn
All right,
close.
so it's some hippity dippity stuff. All right, here we go.
Almost got a spit take.
All right. So it's not.
You're close. You're very close. Think of that in that realm.
Is it a zodiac?
Yeah. Well,
Astrology.
there you go.
Zodiac.
Astrology. There you go.
Right, astrology. I know
Yeah.
nothing about this. I don't believe in it. If you do believe in it,
He's here to talk about it. Of course he believes
Okay,
it.
but I don't, but I'm open to suggestion.
Yeah, well, that's why we have people on the podcast, so you can learn about it. So let me give you a proper introduction. Ricky Williams, in 1998, is awarded the 64th Heisman Trophy at the age of 21. After a career in the NFL, he became a medical cannabis advocate and turned his attention to healing people, both physically and spiritually. Ricky studied Indian and traditional Chinese medicine, and the insights gained from these studies gave Ricky the keys to his own healing. Ricky now shares his healing insights through his herbal formulations, healing bodywork, wellness consultations, and astrology. His new podcast, Curious Questions with Ricky Williams, launched February 3rd. Ricky is also launching an astrology-based dating app, and I don't know if it's Lila or Leela. Maybe you can...
It's Lila.
Lila. Lila. Lila. That's in beta. People can gain early access by subscribing to the site Hey Lila, HEYLILA.com.
Oh, so it's a dating app, so they match up your astrology, what matches up with the person, or?
I don't know. Ricky, I'm sure could tell you better than I could, but.
So how does a dating app work?
Well, it's not, when we first started, we thought dating app, but really it's evolved into a relationship app. And it all came about is, I've been studying astrology for about 15 years. And in 2016, I divorced my first wife. And in 2017, I got remarried. And so I was in this kind of situation in relationships. We're coming out of a relationship and all, anyone who's been through a divorce and all that stuff. And then kind of falling in love and getting into a new relationship. There's just a lot going on. And during this time, I happened to take a class on astrology and relationships. And it just blew my mind. It answered so many questions. It gave me so much clarity that I just felt like I had to find a way to turn this information into something people can use to help them navigate relationships. And so it's really about relationships with any two people, friends, a married couple, people that are just meeting each other, family members. And it's using astrology as a tool to first understand ourselves and then to help us understand other people. Because a lot of times in relationships, we're not really seeing the person across from us. We're seeing versions of our parents or the, kid that picked on us when we were in the second grade. So it's just bringing more consciousness, more awareness to relationships.
I've always found that every time I date someone who believes in astrology or something like that, they say, "What's your star sign?" I say Aquarius. And they go, "Oh, we're not a good match." I'm yet to find someone who matches up with Aquarius. Are we just a bunch of bastards? Because it seems like,
answer,
you're
yes.
not good with a Capricorn. Who am I good with then?
Yeah. So this is one of our biggest tasks is trying to dispel all of these misnomers in the way that people abuse astrology. And for us, we don't say that certain signs match up with other signs. We say that anyone can make a relationship work. We're conscious human beings. We just give you information about, how can it work? And yeah, there are some energies that meld well together, and there's some that create more tension. But, if you think of a relationship where two people get along all the time, that's boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think our starting point is to understand yourself and understand what kind of relationship would work for you.
Me and Forrest have had a relationship now for 13 years, and it's turbulent.
I don't find it boring at all when I get along with people all the time.
I can use Aquarius. I can use Aquarius as an example, and probably why Aquarians have a bad reputation when it comes to relationship, because Aquarius is all about learning to think for yourself. And part of that is learning to not care what other people think. And so, to be happy in a relationship with an Aquarius, you have to have your own stuff together. You have to have your own life. Because if you get clingy or dependent on an Aquarian, that's not going to work so well. And so if you're in a relationship with Aquarian, you got to give them space.
There you go.
Let them be who they are.
Let me be who I am. I don't believe in star signs because I've met people who are born on the same day and the same year as me in like the same hour, and they're complete bastards.
That's weird. So, Ricky, here's what I'm going to ask Jim everything he knows about astrology, and I'm going to ask him a bunch of questions. And then after that time, we're going to go back and correct him or praise him for knowing it right or whatever. Oh, real quick, before we go, you have your podcast is launching. It's called Curious Questions with Ricky Williams. Just tell us briefly what that is, too, so you can let people know what the...
Okay, yeah. So it's based in astrology, actually. So I have guests on, and I get their birth information before I bring them on. And the intro is I look at their chart and I just talk about what in their chart grabs my attention, what I'm curious about, and then I put that away. I bring them on, and we start talking, and I start asking questions about the things that I saw on the chart. And at the very end, after they leave, I wrap it up and I share, what I learned, insights and connections.
Okay, great. Well, we'll have a link to that, and make sure to check that out. Subscribe to that podcast.
I think I know what's going to happen because my wife the other day said, "What hour were you born?" And I thought that was weird. And I go, "Why?" And I go, "Because she goes, your birthday's coming up, and I just want to know." And I'm like, What do you want to know that for?
Yeah.
Now I know it's happening.
I texted Forrest. I was like, do you think there's any way you could get his birth time and his birthplace? And then he sends me 4 p.m. I go, you think that's a ballpark or exact? He goes, no, it's probably ballpark.
My mother was induced, so there was an actual appointment. So I don't know. I don't like that might be when the appointment started, but it would have been in that hour, yeah.
Okay, so here's the questions. After Jim's done answering these questions or telling us about it, it'd be about 5-10 minutes. You're going to grade him 0 through 10 on accuracy, 10 being the best, and Kelly's going to grade him on confidence. I'm going to grade him on et cetera. And 0 through 10, knowledge and retrograde. I don't even know if this makes sense. I'm just using terms. 11 through 20 on the cusp. It's on cusp. And 21 through 30 fully aligned. I don't even know if that makes sense either. I don't know anything about astrology either. I'm going to learn today. So, okay. What is astrology, Jim?
Astrology is it's the stars and shit, right? And they all make up.
Are you Wikipedia?
Yeah. They make up very exact pictures. Like whenever you see that one, they go, and it's a bull. See, there's a dot there and a dot there, and you join them up together. It's like if a simpleton did join the dots and made. I'm meant to be a water carrier. So it's basically you're born in a month. And it doesn't go in the exact month. I believe there's 12 different signs. There might be 11. Mm-hmm. And so I'll say 12. There's 12 different signs. And in those signs, the planets align and the stars and all that type of stuff. And it's meant to be able to say what type of person you are, what your future may be like, what your day is going to be like, etc.
Okay, etc. How long has astrology been used? And how did it come to be?
Oh, it would be a long time now. I'm going to say astrology's been used. I'm going to give it 500 years. 500 years. I believe it's probably they were doing some hoopla with the stars before that, but I believe that probably in the last 500 years they were looking at the stars going, that's a water carrier. That one there looks like a scorpion.
So how did it?
I think it was around the same time that mushrooms were being used on the regular was probably when astrology came in.
Who was credited with the birth of astrology?
Well, there's the birth of everything, our Lord Jesus Christ.
he's credited with astrology
because without him, Forrest, we don't have anything.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to say our Lord Jesus Christ or L. Ron Hubbard.
Okay. Thought they were the same person. All right.
Yeah, they're the same. It's just different interpretations.
Okay.
Or that fat prick Buddha.
Is astrology a science?
There's science involved, but I don't believe it's scientifically proven. So I will say, no, it's not a science. But I believe there's science involved because astrology involves science. And there's degrees. There's a lot of math being used and stuff like that. So there's a lot of science involved in it, but it's not a science.
So science involved, but not a science.
Yeah.
Okay. Are astronomy and astrology connected?
Well, yes and no. I think the astronomers
answer the question.
The astronomists, is that a word, right? the astronomers who do the what's the first one?
There's astronomy and astrology. What we're talking about.
Okay, so astronomy is the science of looking at the stars and all that type of stuff. And
that's science.
That one's more science. And astrology, I reckon astrology thinks they're involved with astronomy, but not the other way. I reckon astronomy goes, you're not involved with us. And astrology goes, we're all the same, right? We're all hanging out, stars and whatnot, right? But I believe one thinks that and the other doesn't.
Okay. Name as many zodiac signs as you can.
All right.
You said there's 12, right?
Yeah.
See if you can name all 12.
Okay, so Cancer, which I always thought was which was an unfortunate named one.
Yeah, it is unfortunate.
Okay, so Aquarius, I know about the Aquarius. Sagittarius, Pisces, that's one. Libra, Leo. Is Leo one? Libra and Leo?
Sounds right.
Leo,
Sounds your answers.
Yeah. Cancer.
You're up to 6.
Yeah, hang on. I've got more coming.
I'm just giving you help.
Sagittarius, Aquarius. God, I know the other ones. I don't even know what one my son is.
I know it because he has almost the same birthday as Bianca, so I know it is.
Scorpion?
Well,
have I done Scorpion?
You haven't done Scorpion.
Scorpio. Scorpio.
Yeah. That's your son.
Taurus.
Like
the car.
That's pretty impressive.
You're doing pretty good.
Taurus.
You're up to 8.
Yeah. God, I
you mentioned
Pisces.
one earlier.
No, you said Pisces already.
I mentioned one earlier.
Yeah.
Well, that goes on the list. What was that? I said it
You
earlier.
were talking about how Capricorns don't get on.
Capricorn.
Okay, so you have 3 left.
Capricorn. Sleepy, Dozy, and Doc.
Sleepy, Dozy, and Doc. Okay.
I'm a sleepy.
You crushed it. Okay. How is one zodiac sign determined? You kind of said that.
Just by the stars and the shape of the stars, and they get called a thing. And then
Like how is yours determined?
Oh, by my date of birth.
Date of birth. Okay.
Yeah.
This is an easy one. And
But you can.
I don't even know if that's
a lot
right,
of
but I
people
think it's
say
right.
they're on the cusp. It's like I'm a heterosexual, but I'm on the cusp. You know what I mean? Like
They do say that.
The zodiac signs are split into 4 categories. What are they?
winter, summer, autumn, and no. Okay. There'd be something weather ones, weather based.
Weather.
So that's your water and the thunder and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Crustaceans. The crab and the fish and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Land animals.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Land animals.
Land animals.
Yeah.
And air animals.
Air animals. Okay. What's Aquarius?
What about the 7 dwarfs?
Aquarius is people. It's water carriers and stuff like that, and the dwarfs.
Okay,
all right.
right.
So that's all right.
What role do planets play in astrology?
Well, in all truthfulness, nothing. It's not a real thing. But if they were to do, and I'm sorry, Ricky, and we'll debate this, but if they were to do something, when they align and when they move, like I only found this out on my bachelor party when we were on mushrooms, that you can see planets.
Yeah.
I was looking at stars.
Wait. You really had never seen them?
Blew my mind. I thought we were just
thought-
looking at stars, and then like your brother Scott goes like this. Oh, yeah. Well, Mars is very visible today. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. We're looking at Mars.
Yeah, we're like, there's Mars, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn. You're like, that's not possible.
Yeah, I was like, I thought we were just looking at stars. Yeah. So you can see them. So the planets move around. I don't know about anything. This is the idea of the podcast, Ricky. Right? So the planets can align, and then someone can go, oh, Jupiter's in retrograde. That's why I'm feeling a bit horny today. Or they'll go, oh, I might lose me job.
What does retrograde mean?
Saturn's in sight.
What's retrograde mean?
Retrograde means it's been held back a year.
It's not too far. Okay, a couple more questions, and we'll get there here. What is a house in astrology? What does that mean?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know about that.
Don't know. Good.
That's the title. We should have a jingle when I say that.
Do you only have one zodiac sign?
No, you have one zodiac sign, but then people start sort of fucking around with it going, oh, actually, because you're born this time, you're slightly more this zodiac sign. It's not like Chinese years where it's, it's just a block thing that you have.
You're the rat.
It's like, I'm a snake, 1977. Yeah.
I'm a pig.
1977?
Yeah, 77.
I think I'm a rat. 72. I'm not sure. What types of stereotypes are you familiar when it comes to zodiac signs? Like, for instance, Cancers are crybabies.
What?
Well, I don't know. This is just an
we're
example
not.
of that.
No.
No, but
They're
just-
always like, oh, I can't live very long.
Do you know any stereotypes?
Cancer.
I'm not a kid. I'm not a crybaby.
Yeah, you get cancer and tell me you're not a crybaby. So I'll say that Sagittarius is a determined people. Everyone's determined.
That's me.
Yeah, very, very determined. All right, so okay, other ones. Sagittariuses aren't good at keeping to their diet.
Oh, okay. Is this going to be all about me?
Aquariuses masturbate too much.
Too much masturbation. All right.
Oh my god.
What are you, Luis?
Yeah.
He's a Taurus. What about Tauruses?
Tauruses, they like to drink a soda that's of an orange color that no one else likes. It tastes a lot like iron brew, called Hippy Dippy or whatever it was called. What was the name of that soda that you brought
There's
in?
Inca Cola.
Inca Cola.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he drinks Inca Cola. I drink Passiona.
Okay. Last question. Are tarot readings a part of astrology?
I believe that tarot readings would be involved with astrology. I don't believe that there's a person who does tarot cards that just goes, that astrology's bullshit.
Fair guess.
They may not be part of each other, but they definitely both believe in both.
Okay. All right. Ricky, how on 0 to 10, 10 being the best, how did Jim do in his knowledge of astrology?
6.
6. Wow.
6.
I feel like everyone grades you so nicely.
What do you mean everyone grades?
No. Honestly, though, probably, I don't know. I mean, he knows a lot more probably than he thinks he.
Oh, okay.
Seriously.
All right.
Yeah, you've had plenty of girlfriends. You know about astrology.
Yeah, I know. I've had a lot of girlfriends that tell me that I'm doing something wrong because of the stars.
All right. Confidence. How do you do, Kelly?
I don't think he felt very confident, but he did better than he thought he was going to do. So I'll give you a 6 on confidence, but I thought you performed like a 7.
Oh,
you know, there's room.
That's like my sex reviews.
All right.
I thought it was going to be fucking terrible, but it was slightly better.
He performed like a 7, but it felt like a 6.
All right. That's a total of 12. I'm going to give you for et cetera 13 in retrograde. So that's a total of 557. I don't know what's happening.
What?
But I'm just saying numbers. No, you did pretty good, Jim. We'll give you a 20 there total. Okay. So Ricky, Jim said astrology is stars and shit. And what else did he say there? Kelly?
They turn the stars into pictures.
Yeah.
There are 12 zodiac signs, and it's meant to tell you what type of person you are and what your life will be like, etc.
What exactly is astrology, Ricky?
Honestly, that answer is quite accurate.
All right.
It's quite accurate. You know, and what's interesting about this, this interview is, that that awareness you had, Jim, of that you can see the stars, and that was a very similar awareness that the first astrologers had, and they probably did say, "Oh shit," and they started paying more attention. Okay, and I think that's really how astrology started. So so astrology, astrologos is astro, stars and shit. Stars part is exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
The logos doesn't mean shit; it means language, and so it's the language of the stars, and it's exactly that. They looked at the stars, and they allowed their imaginations to create a drama or a theater or a dialogue.
Do you know how
they started
stars and shit is actually how I explain the American flag as well? So
it's a versatile answer. That's for sure.
Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
And so it activated the imagination, and so it became a symbol system, and that's really what astrology is this idea that most of the time we live our lives and it seems chaotic, but they started to look up and realize there's some kind of order in the stars, and if we can superimpose that order in the stars on our lives, it can help our lives make more sense to us.
Okay, that makes more sense to me actually. I never really thought about that. Okay, and then
all right, I'm in.
You convinced them. How long has astrology been used? Jim said 500 years, but they were probably doing some hoopla with stars before that.
Yeah. Again, the 500 years is way off, but probably before then is actually very accurate. So the first codified system of astrology is dated to 4000, 3500 BC. And it's attributed to the Babylonians or the Mesopotamians. But there's evidence, something called moonsticks, that shamans 60,000 years ago were tracking the phases of the moon.
But that's just tracking the moon and tracking like the day and how long it goes and the stars. But when in the modern era of Sagittarius and Taurus and all that, when did that come in?
Yeah, so that would be 3500 BC.
Okay, so I was off with that.
Slightly.
That was only 500 years ago.
Yeah. Actually, 500 years ago is when it went underground. Because at one point in time, astrologers and astronomers were one and the same. But during the Enlightenment, right after the Renaissance, when science and logic became king, then astrology went underground.
What star sign was Jesus then? Because I know I said Jesus invented it, but what star sign was Jesus?
Wouldn't he be a Capricorn?
Because his birthday's on Christmas, right? So is he Capricorn?
Is that Capricorn? Sagittarius?
Well, so if Jesus was born on Christmas, then yes, he'd be a Capricorn.
Do you reckon the wise men came in with their fence? Ooh, he's a Capricorn. You know what they're like. He's going to be God to all men. All Capricorns are.
That's actually quite accurate. A lot of Capricorns think they know the right answer.
Yeah. Why does the wise men talk like that?
The wise men were all just northern, sort of slightly fey men who just shut up. I brought some presents. Merry Christmas, as it will be known.
And then, so who is generally credited with the birth of astrology? He said Jesus Christ or L. Ron Hubbard. Is that? Yeah, I think you kind of answered that right. The Mesopotamian.
Yeah, that one's. That's pretty far up. I can't make that one work. It's the Mesopotamians.
But L. Ron Hubbard was one of those aliens who came down in that period and then came back again now. So it could have been L.
You can make the argument that he reincarnated as one of the Mesopotamian priests, astrologer priests, reincarnated as Jesus and then later as L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah, so L. Ron Hubbard, I'll take a point for that.
Yeah. And then he came to Hollywood.
You're a nice guy, Ricky. You're making Jim feel welcome. Is astrology a science? Jim said there's science involved, but it's not a proven science.
That's a very good answer. That's a very good answer. So there is science involved, and this will connect to, I think, to the next question. It's very much connected to astronomy. So astrologers, we get our data from astronomers. Astronomers tell us where the planets are and, how fast they're moving and where they're going to be at certain dates. And astrologers, we interpret that information.
Right.
And so it's not accepted by traditional science as a science. But if you understand really what science is, astrology is definitely a science, because it's people over the years have made empirical evidence, have made observations and passed their notes around, and there's some consensus on what the sun means and on what the moon means and on what it means to be a Sagittarius. And this is a consensus that has lasted for 5,000 years. So by that definition, it is a science, but it's not something that's taken seriously by science. So in that sense, it's not a science.
Yeah, because I remember when somebody explained it to me with the mathematics that were involved, kind of like we were saying, like over time, like all of the evidence of people's personalities and put into like, not computers, but whatever. And like just they looked at for patterns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That it made more sense.
Before computers, you had to know trigonometry, even to be able to draw up a chart.
Okay. Yeah, because that birthday book, there's that thing, the birthday book. Have you ever read like that one? When I read my actual birthday and the people that were born on it and the character traits, that one really nailed me, I thought. So I was like, oh.
But your birthday, so my birthday's the 14th, but because I was born in Australia, it's really the 13th in America.
Well, no.
When you do your birth chart, it correlates to whatever the local
what
time
city
is where
you were
born.
born.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but the birth, that doesn't, you can read the book here and still be like, yeah, I was 14.
His birth chart's backwards because he's from Australia.
Yeah, no, but I'm born on the 13th here and the 14th there.
Doesn't matter.
Well, it is. That's true.
You're born on the 14th, though.
14th where you were.
Yeah, but
where you were.
He was the 13th here when I was born.
I know, but I feel like when they do readings, I don't know if I'm wrong. You always include the city too, right,
Yes.
Ricky?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. All
The
right.
time zone, yeah.
All right, okay, including the time zone. I'll concede.
You're fighting so much.
It's not like astrology was invented here and we have to do it California time.
Well, do you know, like in astrology, we
Feels
see
like it.
we see the stars different in the southern hemisphere.
Mhm.
We see them different to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yes.
can't even see the planets
And
there.
the moon's upside down as well.
Oh my God.
It took me a long time to get used to this moon.
What do you mean get used to it? How do you
Our one looks in the southern hemisphere. It looks like a face. The craters and all that. In the man in the moon. Your one doesn't look like anything. Useless.
It's the same moon.
No, upside down moon. Bloody terrible moon.
Is there anything better in America than in Australia?
Lobster rolls,
Lobster rolls.
comedy clubs.
Okay. Yeah.
Comedy clubs are better. The weather. I don't like the Australian weather. It's too. You get sunburnt. 100% UV. Weather's big. Weather's big, man.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Only time I ever burned was in Queensland.
Yeah.
Only time.
Yeah. You burn there, man. I tell you what. That's like no UV. And also, I prefer the American women. So there you go. And I'll tell you why. Because I don't want to have sex with anyone with my accent. I don't like it when they're like, oh, that's wonderful. Keep doing that. Oh. You know, it's just so off-putting. To all our Australian listeners down there, love you.
Thanks for listening.
But partly the food's better in Australia.
The food is very good in Australia.
The food's better in Australia. And Australia's more chill.
Yeah, it definitely is more chill. All right. Name as many zodiacs. I'm sorry. As astronomy and astrology, you mentioned it a little bit how they're connected. Is there something else you wanted to say about that?
No, I mean that's it. That astronomy measures where the planets are and the movements, etc.
Yeah.
Astrology interprets what astronomers and data we get from astronomers.
You said it went underground, but then when did it go to being printed in newspapers? Because that was really mainstream.
This was in the 50s and the 60s, and it was during the 60s, this big cultural revolution, and there were some academics that were really getting into astrology, and they decided to really study and started writing books. And also at the time, astrology was being translated into psychological language. And so it was more accessible to people and it made more sense. And
do you find...
So really starting in the 60s, it's really started to take off.
Is there... Okay, so I understand that you believe in astrology and you believe in the astronomers that all... Is there some astrologists who are like a Mystic Meg type person who just goes, today you'll meet a tall, handsome man, where you go, oh, that's just bullshit. That's just someone writing it down. Are there people who take the piss with this science of yours?
Yes, right. I would say at this point, a majority of the people are. And I think part of it is because of the tradition that it went underground. And so you have to have a certain courage to not care what people think in order to be able to study astrology. And you got to be smart to really be able to understand it. And so, a lot of people like symbols, and so they'll just riff off of symbols, but it's not astrology proper. Again, to really understand astrology, you have to be open-minded, curious, but you really have to be intelligent because it's a lot of information. Because
the stuff I'm always given is very similar to that of like a fortune cookie, right? The stuff that you just read in a column and they just go. Remember that fortune cookie you had once that we decided was racist?
No.
Remember we were having Chinese food. We had a fortune cookie that we decided was racist.
Where?
Like you were at my house.
Oh, yeah. Because
the opening sentence was fortune cookie says.
Oh,
and we were like, that doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Fortune cookie say. No, fortune cookie say. Right? Yeah. And we were like, no, just get to the message. Don't do that bit first.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. We asked Jim to see if he could name all 12 zodiac signs. He got 9 of them, right?
Yeah.
9 of them. Then he said sleepy, dozy, doc. I don't even know. I actually don't know which ones you missed. You got Cancer?
Aries.
I missed Aries.
What else?
Virgo.
Yeah.
I've been trying to forget Virgo, so
I haven't dated one of them in a while.
Virgo's easy to forget. Yeah.
Wait, so we had Cancer, Pisces, Aquarius, Sagittarius, Libra, Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, Aries.
We're missing one.
Gemini.
From the movie The Gemini Man. Mm-hmm. Plus, I used to drive a Holden Gemini. Was my first car.
How'd you blow that then?
Yeah, I know. You got to give it up for the star signs. They get named cars. You get Tauruses and Geminis. And
I got my Honda Cancer outside.
That's it. There's only 2.
I bet you find more.
I'm looking. Pisces, Aquarius. There's no Sagittarius or Libra, Leo.
There'd be a Libra.
Well, their name. There's a lot of the words are used in a lot of pop culture, movies, things like that.
Well, Cancer's got a tropic. Cancer and Capricorn.
That's Capricorn, they got a. That's pretty good, yeah.
Gotta go do it.
And a disease.
Yeah.
Don't forget the disease.
The tropic came after the PR people were like, this isn't good for us.
Yeah, the Cancer people should go, why is it not called Aquarius? I've got bowel Aquarius.
I still don't understand why it would be called Cancer, but I guess it was called Cancer before the.
What happened was when they named it, there was some guy who was going through a divorce and his wife was a Cancer. And he was like, I know what I'm going. And then he goes, I'd like to call the disease Carol. You can't call it Carol.
Well, when did all these names, was it that far back, 3,500 years ago, that the names for the signs came up too, Ricky?
Yeah, it was that far. It was that long ago. Yeah.
Cancer got shafted though, because I'm a Cancer and I have crabs basically. Like the symbol for Cancer is crab. It's not a good combo.
No.
Well, Sagittarius.
Yeah, so there's a couple of stories about how the disease came to be named cancer. And one of the stories is that when people had a tumor or had cancer, whenever they walked, they'd have to walk in ways where they took the pressure off of the tumor so they weren't in pain. And the way they walk, they kind of walk like a crab. And so they called it the disease of the crab.
Oh, wow.
And the Latin word for crab is cancer.
Wow. My carrier is a water carrier, and that's probably why my posture's so bad. It's like I got a bucket on my neck.
I'm Sagittarius. Isn't that the half man, half horse guy?
Yeah,
which is pretty accurate.
I dressed up like one of those.
It's the archer, and part of Sagittarius is the idea of if you're an archer and you pull the bow back and you let it go. Once you let it go, you don't know what's going to happen. And so a lot of Sag is about living a life where you're willing to take risks, saying yes to life. Willing to shoot a lot of arrows.
Does that also include not making good decisions? That comes with that.
That's exactly. Honestly, that's textbook. That's textbook Sagittarius.
I'm a Sagittarius rising, so yeah.
What are you, Jack?
Yeah.
I'm Cancer.
Cancer. Does Cancer get a lot of pussy, Ricky? What happens there?
Sounds like
it depends.
I can tell you they don't.
There's two kinds of cancers.
Jack doesn't.
There's extroverted cancers and there's introverted cancers. Extroverted cancers, yes,
right.
They'll tend to because cancer is about the home, and so you meet an extroverted cancer, and within half an hour you're back at their house, watching Netflix. You know what that turns.
All right, slow down with the accusations.
Jack is actually fairly extroverted. He does stand-up comedy. That's an extroverted thing to do. So you can't, but like you.
But not
if you talk to him, you are home at his house doing Lego pretty quick.
That's true. That's true.
Poor Jack.
But your sun sign, from what I know, is not necessarily indicative of your relationship life, right? What's the sign that is more telling of what your relationships will be like?
I would say the moon.
Okay.
I'd say the moon, because the moon is where you feel a heart connection, where you feel simpatico with, where you care about somebody. And so you see in relationships, either close friends, people you can live together. These are moon connections. You got to feel comfortable around someone.
And my moon's upside down.
I forgot to ask that question. I'm sorry. Like, what's a sun sign, moon sign, rising sign? Yeah.
That's what you just.
Do you know yours?
Oh no, I'm Aquarius. That's all I know.
You don't have yours. A sun sign or moon sign or rising?
I don't.
I don't know what that means.
I know yours. If 4 o'clock is an accurate.
I don't know what a sun sign or a moon sign or what is that? What does that mean, Ricky?
Let's see.
So this idea of, and we'll get to I think one of the upcoming questions about planets. Okay, and so when we're in school, we learn the planets in the solar system. And the word planet, it comes from the Greek word that means wanderers. And it's exactly that image you had, Jeff, where they noticed that when we look up in the sky, we see a lot of stars. And those stars, they move together in these shapes, what we call constellations. But they noticed certain stars would move by themselves, and they called those wanderers or planets. And so when we look at a birth chart, we look at when you were born, where were all the planets? And because they're wanderers, planets include the sun and the moon. So when you look at all 12 signs, the planets, the 10 planets that we use, are scattered throughout your birth chart. And so you have a sun sign, which is when people say, I'm a Gemini, or you're an Aquarius, or you're a Sag, or you're a Cancer. We're talking about our sun sign. But the moon was also in a sign. Mercury was in a sign. Venus was in a sign. Mars was in a sign. Jupiter, et cetera, et cetera. They were all in a sign. And we interpret all of those because each of the planets, and this is to answer the planet question, each of the planets represents a part of us. And so we know the sun because the sun represents our identity, our ego, right? How we shine. Our moon, the moon rules the night. So the moon rules kind of our heart, our feelings, the things that we tend to hide from people, to protect. And we only share with people once we feel safe. Mercury is about the way we communicate. Mars is about the way we assert ourselves. Venus is about the way we relate and create relationships with people. So each of these planets represents a part of ourselves. And we look at what sign it's in. And then the other question, we look at what house it's in. and we get information about how to understand the experiences that show up in our lives.
Okay.
You're a Capricorn moon.
I'm a Capricorn moon. I always knew that. Yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. So the rising sign, all right, what the rising sign represents is which sign was rising on the eastern horizon at the time and place of your birth. And so that's why when we ask for your information, we have to get the time and the place so that we can know the rising sign.
See, but this makes it more impressive to me too. Is that so when you are giving somebody a reading, you have to take all that into account, and so all those records have to be kept too of where everything was aligned. So that's
exactly.
And who keeps? Do astronomers keep these records, or is it who keeps the records?
Well, again, this is what we get from NASA. This is what we get from the astronomers. Is they tell us where are the planets, where are they going to be tomorrow, where are they going to be the next day, and so that's why what sometimes is called prediction or fortune telling. Is astrologers can look in the future and say, in 6 months, Jupiter is going to be on top of your sun, right? And so you can plan ahead.
All right.
Is the idea.
Am I going to get a reading?
I don't know.
I think you might do his podcast and get a reading.
All right, I want a reading now.
You got to come online for a reading.
Yeah, we have talked about. That's why I asked Tazy about it, but it probably is going to take more time than we have on the podcast.
Yeah.
I didn't need a big reading. I just wanted, all right, birthday, date, age thing. You're a cool dude.
Well, I don't know. Ricky, what do you feel about this? Because I feel like horoscopes that are printed in magazines and newspapers or whatever have done a huge disservice to astrology in general, because people look at that and it's like this vague sentence that anybody can relate to. But when you get a full birth chart reading or have that information, that's when you're like, holy shit, this stuff is like freakily accurate.
Yeah. I haven't met anyone who sat down and I've talked to about their whole chart that didn't walk away with their mind blown about how accurate it is. And it's interesting. I think in one way, yes. I poo-poo sun sign and horoscopes in magazines, and most serious astrologers do. But the truth is, we owe sun sign astrology a big debt, because I don't think astrology would have become as popular if it wasn't for newspapers, especially in magazines.
So
putting that in.
You believe you can read what a person is like? Do you also believe you can read their future?
Well, I don't think you can necessarily read what a person is like. I'm going to give you an example, and I think this will also answer the question about two people born even in the same time. Because I have a twin sister,
right? And
we are extremely, extremely different. Okay, extremely different, and we're born on a minute apart. So astrology, conventional astrological thought would think you guys are somewhat similar, but we're not.
She didn't even play for the NFL, I heard.
Yeah, exactly. And she's twice as big as I am. But what a chart shows is it's a map of the experiences that you're going to encounter. Okay. So if I say on Tuesday, you're going to meet a bully. Okay. I don't know if the bully's going to beat you up. I don't know if you're going to run away. I don't know if you're going to punch the bully in the face. But I know on Tuesday you're going to meet a bully. Okay, that's the kind of quote unquote predictions we can do. And invariably, when Tuesday comes around, whether it's a bad habit or your kids yelling at you or your boss is yelling at you or whatever, there's going to be that kind of experience is going to show up in your life. And if I look at, the last 10 times in your life where you've met a bully, you ran away. I can predict, there's a good chance that the 11th time you meet a bully, there's a good chance you're going to run away. Or I can say, if you can reflect on these last times, did you learn anything about how to stand up for yourself? And if you did, you're going to be tested on Tuesday. Okay. That's the kinds of quote predictions we do with astrology.
All right.
Because an example, right? They noticed, and the bully analogy would be referring to the planet Mars. And it's over centuries, astronomers have noticed when Mars gets to a certain point or Mars activates something in someone's chart, there's some form of violence, right?
And
whether that's emotional, physical, someone has an accident, a car accident, these types.
And you believe in alternative medicines and herbal medicines and Eastern medicine. That's what Forrest was saying in the intro. Do you think that these things and astrology are intertwined, or are they completely separate things?
Well, that's a good question. I understand astrology as a language. And so as a language, it's intertwined in anything because it can bring insight or help you understand something about yourself, you know? Yeah. And so this idea of belief, you know, to me, I'm the kind of person where I only believe what I see. And so the way I use astrology is just to give me a different perspective, a different way to look at or understand something. And it's useful that way.
Right. So you only believe what you see. That's why Jack still doesn't believe in vaginas. Sorry.
I've seen him in magazines.
He's still got back.
That's the best part. Not even the internet.
He doesn't use the internet. He's so old school. Jack's sitting at home listening to the Grateful Dead, looking at an old Playboy. That's so Jack.
Oh, I'm going to buy some cigarettes today.
So with the Western medicine thing, now I'm not the first person to say this, but like you know,
Eastern or
Eastern, well, the herb medicine, the alternative medicines, right? Richard Dawkins said a similar thing. So why hasn't these things become actual medicine? I know this is a separate subject, but I'd like an answer on this. Why? So penicillin is mold in an orange, and then it gets tested, and then the FDA approves it, and then it becomes medicine. What's the difference between that and another herbal thing that hasn't been given the okay by the scientists?
Well, I think it's part of it is just timing. You know, it's like if the right person has a certain experience with the plant, then it's taken seriously. If people who don't have a voice or aren't taken seriously have been saying something for years, you know, it becomes a political thing. You know, and again, I can appreciate Western medicine because I've, broken my ankle, I've broken my arm, I've torn my pec. I've had instances where I've needed Western medicine to put me back together. And thank goodness they could put me to sleep and numb me. Otherwise, that would have sucked. And I've been on the other side where more chronic issues of being a professional football player, going the Western medicine route, tearing up my liver and the lining of my stomach. So I had to be more creative about finding ways to take care of my body that didn't do more damage to my body. So I came across, alternative medicine quite organically, and I was shocked at how effective it was. I remember I broke my arm and had to have it, sewn back together, and they gave me morphine in the hospital, and it made me really sick. And my neighbor suggested I take homeopathic arnica, and I kind of laughed at her, but I said I don't like the way I feel. And so I tried it, and it not only did not have side effects, it was more effective than the morphine.
More effective than morphine. So, I got to get me some of this stuff.
I have arnica in my house always. I always have a tube of arnica or like little pellets. It's like, my mom was the one that turned me on to that. My mom was a quote unquote hippie, and
literally
she
have arnica right here.
There you go, yeah.
I've never even heard of it.
It's made from a flower, basically. Yeah, but my mom had cancer for a long time, and she suffered and she was in pain and whatever. But she used Western medicine. Obviously, there was like chemotherapy and things involved. But she also did like homeopathic, more like Eastern kind of stuff. And it would be funny. We'd go into the doctor's office and be like, yeah, you're doing really good, and we can't even explain some of the stuff. So just keep doing whatever you're doing. That's how we'd say, keep doing your cute little things. It was like almost like condescending, whereas like, But I think some of it's money too. It's like aspirin is at some point someone decided to make aspirin and sell it, but before that they used to chew on the branches of willow trees because that's where it was salicylic acid, and so no one was making money off that. And someone was like, "Hey, if we figure out how to refine this and put in a..."
I was a little bit more black and white on this subject up until they legalized weed, really.
Yeah.
And then I was like, it was helping me with things with sleep and stuff like that. Or if I had pain, I had to use the CBD oil or whatever like that in joints and all that stuff. And I actually found that it was working. And I got arthritis in my hands, and I found that weed was helping with that as well.
Yeah.
And so until then, but like even like so CBD isn't legal in Australia. They're still not using it. We're good old fashioned speed and methamphetamine type of people. If heroin can't fix it, we don't want it.
All right. So I don't even know where we're at here? Oh, the I don't know where I'm at, Kelly.
I sidetracked with medicine.
Zodiac signs are split
We
into
did all the signs.
yeah,
and then planets.
Oh, you know what it was? The zodiac signs are split into four categories. You said weather-based crustaceans, land animals, and air animals.
Yeah.
Actually, if I'm grading kindly, that's 3 out of 4, which is not bad.
Crustaceans.
The crustaceans we call water. The weather we call air. The animals we call earth, and the one you missed was fire.
Oh, it's the air sign. I'm an air sign, although I'm the water carrier.
Yes.
I know that much. Yeah, I'm an air sign.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
And then, okay, so yeah, we did all those then. Okay, and then what? The stereotypes, Jim. What did you say again? You're a chronic masturbator, Aquarius.
Yeah, Aquarius, angry masturbators.
Yeah. Sagittarius can't stick to their diet.
So these, and Tauruses drink weird sodas.
Everyone in America was born in the same month.
So again, that was eerily accurate. And the argument for Aquarians masturbating is Aquarians, again, this idea of not caring what people think. Aquarians do well by themselves.
That's not a bucket of water we're carrying. We're just cleaning out our bedroom.
Yes, and if you can become really good at masturbating, you don't need anyone else, and life is easier for an Aquarian.
Mission accomplished.
As far as a Sag not sticking to his diet, yeah, Sag is saying yes to life.
Yeah,
saying yes to life. And the diet is saying no.
It's called being an addict. That's what
sounds very positive.
I have very addictive tendencies.
Yes. Yeah. And the interesting one about Taurus, and I wouldn't say soda, but I will say Taurus is related to comfort and food, but Taurus is also related to indigenous people.
Ah.
So the fact that the soda was Inca. That brings in.
Luis is, you can't see him off camera. He is Mexican, but it's not Peruvian. But still, that still checks out, right, Luis?
Yeah.
And I'm a Taurus moon, and I'm drinking from the indigenous Dr. Peppers.
I wasn't saying that you were Peruvian, Luis.
I think Luis is upset.
He hasn't responded.
He's unhappy.
I mean, I guess I don't know if we have too many indigenous sodas. Jarritos. I don't know if that counts.
That's good.
I think he's angry because I knocked Inca soda.
It's better than Passion.
You have Mexican Coke. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I like Mexican Coke. It wasn't anything against Mexican. It was Mexican. It was just the Incas that I have a problem with. With their fucking half-ass pyramids.
And then our tarot.
Go to Egypt, see a real one, you stupid Inca.
Our tarot readings are part of astrology. Jim said, he's never met anyone that would say, I like tarot cards, but astrology's stupid.
Yeah. They're loosely related in the sense that they're both what are called auricular arts, meaning the reading of omens. Is that as an astrologer, we say that, Jupiter coming over your Venus is an omen, whereas a tarot card says, because when you sat in front of me and I set out the spread, I turned over, the 4 of hearts, and they interpret that. So they're both interpreting omens.
Yeah.
I've had a tarot reading that was very, very close, like scarily close. I still don't believe it. I just think it was really close. It was talking about people in my life, and this person was going to screw me over, and this person was going to be good, and that was going to, and a job opportunity was going to come in and all those things happened. They all happened. And then I just think she was very good at reading me.
What would it take for you to believe? If somebody was that accurate in your reading?
For me, it was very accurate. It was very accurate, but I still just
literally didn't miss a thing. But fucking don't believe her.
I get shit all the time. It's like if I probably came in like this. I'm worried about my relationship. You're having problems with your relationship. Like I give things away. Things away. I'm an easy read, me. I try to go in there all sort of like level, like I'm not going to tell you anything, and I'd like to talk about my job. And they go, oh, your job's going okay. It is going good. But the Jim Jefferies show will be cancelled. And she goes, but I didn't ask your name. And I was like, whoa!
What were you saying, Ricky? Something about Aquarius?
I was saying that that's part of the whole Aquarian idea is Aquarius needs to question everything. They need to be somewhat skeptical. And also a Capricorn moon. My wife has a Capricorn moon, and at its worst, it's like grouchy Smurf. So this need, like, prove it to me, show me. It's That's part of it.
Yeah, that is being proven.
Yeah, and the tarot cards. My girlfriend likes tarot cards, and she read mine one time, and she explained it more to me. It's not more about like trying to nail who you are, but it's kind of like helps to kind of guide you through like. Yeah, I know you're making a face at me, Jim, but just try.
Do you believe in tarot cards?
I haven't done enough of them to really make an opinion.
I got one recently, and it was the day we put the offer on the house, and it was I see a new home in your future, blah blah. It was the day we found out it was accepted.
Oh, the one that was,
and that freaked me out.
The one that was really like exact with me talked about things that were happening in my life, and also a prediction, and it hasn't happened yet, but killing spree.
Oh.
So yeah, we'll see. That's,
well, comedy, right?
Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. But I get the twitch.
Okay, so this is a part of the show, Ricky, where at the end we ask for like something called a dinner party fact. If you have something that's obscure or interesting that most people might not know about astrology that they can use to impress people, and so.
Yeah, that celebrating our birthdays is an astrological phenomenon.
Okay.
So in astrology, what a birthday is when the sun returns to where it was when you were born, and the sun represents vitality, brightness, individuality, celebrating ourselves. And typically on our birthday, this is what we do. We celebrate ourselves.
Of course, yeah. I didn't really think about that though.
Yeah.
Well, it's the date as well.
Yeah, but it's more about but that's the calendar, and the calendar is based on.
But the calendar is based off of, even the calendar is an astrological phenomenon. It's based on what we learn from watching the skies.
Oh no, the calendar 100%. It's how long the Earth takes to rotate the sun, and the moon takes to go around us, and all the wonderful things that happen on this flat planet.
Exactly.
But so if you're buying into the calendar, you're already sort of buying into it.
I am buying into the calendar.
Exactly.
Okay, so do deck of cards of that, because I know deck of cards are related to the calendar because you got the 4 suits, the 4 seasons, the 51 weeks and all that type of stuff. And there's is deck of cards, are they based around astrology as well? Do you know that one?
Yeah, so you mentioned it earlier, and really the elements are based on the seasons. And so astrology is based on the seasons. When someone says they're an Aries, what they're saying is I was born the first month of spring. Someone says they're a Taurus, they're saying I was born second month of spring. Someone says they're a Gemini, they're saying I was born the third month of spring, so forth and so on. So what the signs are really just ideas we use to describe times, parts of the season. Like an example is Taurus, okay? Taurus is associated with calm, with relaxation, and Taurus is really about learning how to calm down and learning to trust your instincts. And if you think of what the weather is like, and this is in northern hemispheres, this is a weird thing about astrology. This is in northern hemispheres. In the Taurus time, the weather is starting to warm up and it's starting to like stabilize. And spring, Taurus time, is a beautiful time of year where it's easy to relax. The other time of year ruled by Venus, the planet of relaxation, is Libra, which is the first month of fall. And same thing, first month of fall in the northern hemisphere, the weather is starting to cool down. The leaves are changing. It's a calming, peaceful time of year. And so the signs are really just describing season.
So is my sign completely different because I was born in the southern hemisphere? Because I was born in summer?
This is one of the interesting things about astrology is to remember that it's a symbol system. So although it doesn't match up factually in the southern hemisphere, the symbolism still works.
Right.
It's a mystery, but it works.
Well, I think this will be a really interesting podcast, Ricky, because you're going to give somebody a reading and then you're interviewing them and talking about like, you have so many places to go from that reading.
It's not really a reading. It kind of is. I've looked at enough charts to know that there's certain things about a chart that jump out, and I become really curious about how is a person doing with, like, how are they managing this, or wow, they're an expert in being a student. And so I try to bring out interesting things in the guests that their fans might not have seen, but something that's these patterns that are hidden and bringing those out. And I think, one, it's very interesting conversation. And 2, it helps people understand how astrology actually works.
Well, it's called Curious Questions with Ricky Williams. And also be sure to check out the Leela app. It's the astrology-based dating app called HeyLeela.com is the website, HeyLila.com. Thanks a lot for being here, Ricky.
Thanks for being on the show, Ricky.
this was
If you want
fun.
me as a
Thank you.
guest, I'll have a reading any day. I'll come on. I'm up.
Like,
Yeah, let's do
How do
it.
I just hire you for a reading?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're ever at a party and someone comes up to you and goes, bloody Mars is in retrograde, you go, I don't know about that. Good night, Australia.